Hello guys, my name is Agithania P. You can call me Agit. I'm from Group 8. Thank you.
My name is Anisa Ratih and people usually call me Anisa. I'm from Group 8.
My name is Romdony. My friends usually call me Romy. I'm also from Group 8.
Hello everyone, my name is Desy Putri. My friends usually call me Desy. I'm from Group 8.
What's up guys? So my name is Jasmine Nur and people usually call me Jasmine. I'm also from Group 8.
Hello guys. Well, today we have something awesome to share with you all. Are you free today? Because what we got here, Agit? So we will discuss about a novel entitled Magnus, a sort of summer.
Yeah, and are you curious about this? So let's check this out. Hello everyone, how's your life? How are you today? I hope you are fine and also in a good situation today. Well, have you ever heard the story of Magnus and the sword of summer? Yeah, actually there are 3 series of books for Magnus. Do you know what is the title of 3 of them? Well, the first series is that Magnus and the Sword of Summer. And the second series is that Magnus and the Gods of Asgard for Hammer of Thor. And what's the title? While the last title or the last third series is that Magnus and the God of Asgard for the Ship of the Dead. And today we are going to talk Magnus in series 1. And this novel shows the Norse mythology written by American author Riordan. And this novel was published in United States on October 6, 2015 by Disney Hyperson. Well, this novel is narrated of first-person view by Magnus. Because we don't have the printed yet, so we use ebook for analyzing this novel. This ebook has 383 pages. This story tells us a 16-year-old child whose name is Magnus. And also, Magnus discovered that he is the son of the Norse god whose name is Frey, and he must stop Fenriswolf from escaping the prison and ending the world. The genre of this novel is fantasy. The title of the first chapter, Magnus, as I said in the previous, is that Magnus and the Sword of Summer. Well, when we read this novel, we often find a lot of figurative language which is found in the story. One of the figurative language that we can find is sarcasm. And eventually, this figurative language is appear from Magnus dialogue. Well, what is the relationship between the sarcastic and the personality of Magnus? Or to be specific, how can sarcastic related with Magnus? Let's watch our video and stay on. Well, we are sure that you will not be disappointed if you pay attention in our video.
Before we discuss furthermore, let me tell you the background of Magnus and short summary of the story. Magnus is the narrator of this book. He is 60 years old teenager who is a homeless kid for almost 2 years. But ironically, his father is the god of abundance and wealth. Not so long before his died, his uncle Randolph told him everything about his father, how his mom died, and who killed her. He had one job to do, call the Sword of Summer from the bottom of the river of Brooklyn. Unexpectedly, he managed to do that. But Sword, the destined owner, want to take that sword and start the doomsday. Sword killed Magnus, but Sword is lost at the sea where they both fall from the fighting. Magnus is dead, but his afterlife held the important part of the story. The point is Magnus must fight Sword because he wants to start the Ragnarok.
In this video, we want to discuss about Magnus' Sarcastic of Humour based on his characterization in the novel. Before we continue to the topic that we want to discuss today, first of all, we must know what is the definition of sarcasm itself, and it can make us more clearly what the topic that we want to discuss. So, sarcasm in the definition of Merriam-Webster is a noun, and the definition is a sharp and often satirical or ironic utterance designed to cut or give pain. And the next definition of sarcasm itself is a mode of satirical wit depending for its effect on bitter, caustic, and often ironic language that is usually directed against an individual, and the use or language of sarcasm. That's all.
Alright, after we have known about the background story of Magnus Chase, now we're going to discuss about the sarcastic humor that Magnus Chase used in the story. Before that, let me show you some evidences that we have found.
Well, the first sarcasm in Magnus Chase and the Sword of Summer that we found is on page 24. I will read the sentences. Finally, just to make small talk, I asked, "So, who's trying to kill me?" He turned right on Arlington. We skirted the public garden, past the equestrian statue of George Washington, the rows of gaslight lampposts, and snow-covered hedges. I was tempted to bail out of the car, run back to the swan pond, and hide in my sleeping bag. "Magnus," said Randolph, "I've made my life's work studying the Norse exploration of North America." "Wow, thanks," I said. That really answered my question. We can say that the last sentences said by Magnus is the sarcastic words. Next, move to the second sarcasm. We found this sarcasm on page 86. I will read the sentences. "Also, why would I get targeted by a big bad dude like Sword? If he was the Lord of Muspelheim, High King Roasty Toasty, shouldn't he pick on more interesting heroes, like the children of Thor? At least their dad had a movie franchise." The High King Roasty Toasty and the last sentence said by Magnus, I mean, at least their dad had a movie franchise, was the sarcastic words.
The next is from page 86 in this sentence. Still, I had a lot of items on my I don't get it list. At the very top, how could a homeless kid have a dad who was the god of abundance and wealth? Talk about a cruel joke. Said by Magnus. So that is the sarcastic words. The next is on page 88. You look like Kurt Cobain. My mom used to tease me. I love Kurt Cobain, except for the fact that he died. Well, guess what, Mom? I thought I have that in common with him. Now, that counts as sarcasm because when Magnus said this, he was dead.
Well, today I would like to explain some of the sarcasm evidence. On page 185, there is sentence, I'm pretty good at multitasking, so I figured I could fly in terror and argue at the same time. Well, in this sentence, we know the sarcasm from the context of the sentences. This sentence shows that how the speaker says that he can do anything in this world. However, he chose to go away and didn't want to do something by arguing. As we know, reveal it is an ironic. Sometimes we know the sarcasm just from the words which is used in the context, but we should understand the content too. Then, sarcasm is often used to say the opposite of what's true. Furthermore, it is clear that sentence shows the sarcasm as the figurative language. While on page 186 until 187, there is also the dialogue. Also, I doubt you'll make many friends among the gods when they learn you have assisted me. Wonderful, I said. I'm already on Ran and Ager Noctilis. Well, the sarcasm that appear in that dialogue shows from the context of those sentences. Even the sentence is just simple sentence, but there is sarcasm that shows in that sentences. The figurative language that appear in that sentences is just sarcasm, because sarcasm is often used to say the opposites of what's true. Well, the meaning of this sentence also the opposite of the real action. The meaning of this sentence shows that will you have many friends because you have helped me. The figurative language is clearly shown in this sentence.
Page 206. Your first task is to befriend the sword. Have you done this? I imagine the sword and me sitting side by side in a movie theater, a tub of popcorn between us. I imagine dragging the sword on a leash, taking it for a walk through the park. How do I befriend a sword? And the sarcastic sentence is, I imagine the sword and me sitting side by side in a movie theater, a tub of popcorn between us. I imagine dragging the sword on a leash, taking it for a walk through the park. And the reason why it includes in the sarcastic or sarcasm sentence because Magnus never imagined that the sword can talk. He never imagined about that thing. And after that, he knew the fact that actually the sword is can talk. And next page 282. Sam peered over the ledge. We will use your magic rope to reach the floor. Then we will walk up to the giants and introduce ourselves. I hate this plan, I said. Let's do it. And the sarcastic or the sarcasm sentence is, I hate this plan. I hate this plan. Let's do it. Why this is included in the sarcastic or sarcasm sentence? Because I had this plan and let's do it. It's mean like actually he thinks that the step or the solution or the way that they will do is impossible, but because of they have nothing to do or have no idea again about how to do the plan, so yeah, they just do it because they already give up and feel, yeah, we just do about that thing or about the idea. And next page 315. Pleasant sniffled. I like that, a family of 4 empty cups. Sam wiped her eyes. Suddenly I feel thirsty. Al-Abbas, I said, I nominate you for the role of annoying sister. Shut up, Magnus. And the sarcastic or sarcasm sentence is, I nominate you for the role of annoying sister. Why this sentence is a sarcastic or sarcasm sentence? Because there is no nomination or nominate that belongs to something like bad things. Nomination and nominate is always in the good thing, like beautiful or clever, and this is like sarcasm because annoying is something like bad or something that we feel like something bad, and yeah, so that's the sarcastic sentence.
Well, let's move on to the discussion. When we read the story, we often laugh because of the way Magnus being sarcastic and people consider it as something funny. But do you ever think why Magnus said something funny like that, even in a sarcastic way? Here, we will discuss it furthermore. What is behind those sarcasm related to Magnus' personality and background of life?
Okay, let's take a look at this situation. The first situation is like in this situation when Magnus did not expect that he had a father. Well, actually, he has a father and he's the god of wealth and abundance. And he was mocking himself by saying this. At the very top, how could a homeless kid have a dad who was the god of abundance and wealth? Talk about a cruel joke. And also, we have this kind of situation. It is stated like this. Your first task is to befriend the sword. Have you done this before? I imagine the sword and me sitting side by side in a movie theater, a tube of popcorn between us, and I imagine dragging the sword on a leash, taking it for a walk through the park. How do I befriend a sword? Well, he was being like that because actually He didn't know that the sword can talk and befriend in literal meaning. That situation beyond his mind. That's why he is being sarcastic. So the intention here of sarcasm is not for mocking the other persons, but more to mocking the situation and himself.
All in all, we can conclude that a person who is sarcastic has some reasons behind that personality. Here, we can see in Magnus' Chase and the Sword of Summer, Magnus said sarcastic words because he was in the moment when something unexpected happens. Sometimes he did the sarcasm to mock other people, but most of the time he just wants to mock his own self. He said those kind of words not always verbally, but sometimes the sarcastic words only existed on his mind. Why Magnus did something like that? It is because he wants to hide his sadness, his true feelings, because when he was a child, he didn't have someone to talk to, so he just talked with his own self and mocked his own self. That's all from the sadness of Magnus' sarcastic sense of humor.
My name is Agit, and this is my reflection about the novel of Magnus, The Sword of Summer. So, my reflection about the novel of Magnus, The Sword of Summer is whenever I start from the first chapter, I feel like the story is so engaging and interesting, and it makes me feel like I want to read and continue about what will be happen in the next. It makes me feel like curious, and after that I feel like want to continue to read and enjoy to read the novel as well. And besides that, something that makes me feel like want to read more about the novel is about how the writer makes the story alive and choose and how the writers choose the language that he wrote on the novel. Because my groups was analyzed about sarcasm, I feel like the kind of sarcasm that written or stated in the novel is really like show the something like called intelligence from the writer itself, and for the sarcasm sentences that we have or we got, some the sentence or the words, yeah, it's like familiar, but it makes us like have a more understanding on the some of the words or sentence that started in there. And I found a lot of new vocabularies as well from the novel. Yeah, even though at the first time I don't know what the meaning, but whenever I connect the sentence, the word from the sentence, yeah, it's feel like I can have more understanding. Like I don't need to translate it Indonesian, but it already makes me feel like know well about the stories. And yeah, that's I think actually I got a lot of reflection and benefits, of course, from the novel, and it feels like something called interesting whenever I read the novel direct from the country, like from the other country, not the translation from Indonesia to English. And it feels like so engaging to read the novel as well. And yeah, that's all my reflection about the novel of Magnus Chase, The Sword of Summer. Thank you very much.
Well, this is Desy, and I would like to explain my impression toward this novel entitled Magnus Chase and the Sword of Summer, written by Riordan. In this novel, we can say that Magnus is a sarcastic person, and I would like to express my impression about it. Well, in this life, we cannot always be happy because something unexpected happened in a sudden. And what we feel about it, the way we express the sadness, sometimes the word just popped up. At some moment, we don't realize that the words that we use are sarcastic. I mean, it is okay being a sarcastic person, but we have to control it. We have to control our words that we use to talk to other people, because we never know that people will get offended by our words or not. So be careful of what we are saying.
Okay, my name is Jasmine and I have my personal impression after reading the novel of Magnus Chase, The Sword of Summer. Well, I love reading this novel for I like adventure and fantasy novel. I adore the way Magnus survived in his life and the way he can beat all his enemies. And actually, I think the first part of the novel was tragic because it is about Magnus' life and it's not easy for him to survive in his life, but the writer make it as light as possible so I can enjoy it. Here I can see that Magnus is a sarcastic person, even 10 times more sarcastic than Percy Jackson's. Yeah, if you ever read or watch about Percy Jackson's, at first I thought that Percy is the most sarcastic person in the list of demigods or heroes, but now I found that Magnus is the one who is the most sarcastic person in the demigods. And I declare that he is the most sarcastic person I've ever known. Let's move on to the next comments. After we dig deeper, focusing on Magnus' sarcastic jokes, we realize that actually it was just the way he covering his true feelings, right? And we think that he actually was in sorrow, and I personally agree with that. It makes me realize that humans tend to hide their feelings in this society. Just to make it simple, and because we think that maybe no one actually know our own feelings, so no one actually know our feeling better than ourselves.
My name is Romy, and my reflection through this novel is from Magnus Chase. I learned that even when we are facing hard time, we must try to find the bright side just to make ourselves interesting. Making ourselves interesting into something can make life easier. We can get motivated and prevent depression in our dark time. When Magnus lost everything in his life, he seems not interesting to continue his life. But accidentally, he still tries his best when doing something. We can follow the characteristic because usually people can achieve their goals in life when they are doing their best.
The impression of the novel Magnus Chase at the Sword of Summer from me is that it is such a great novel from me, and I never find this novel before. So I think that this novel is new novel from me. After I read the novel of Magnus Chase and the Sword of Summer, I get a lot of benefit, such as I get so many new vocabulary that I never find before. Then I can get knowledge about Norse mythology. Norse mythology is related with Frey, Thor, Odin, Loki as the god of the Norse mythology, while Greek mythology related with Apollo, Zeus as the god of the North of the Greek mythology. This novel is so great because the author is so creative. How the writer shows the plot of the story by the various figurative language. Sometimes I'm a little bit confused with the setting place which appear in the story. However, I can understand the place of setting by understanding the whole story of Magnus Chase and the Sword of Summer by reading the whole story Magnus Chase and the Sword of Summer.